Hi, my name is Christian, and I did my cultural presentation on quinceañeras. If you didn't know, quinceañera literally means 15-year-old girl in Spanish, and it's a celebration of a girl's 15th birthday, as the name basically says. I've learned through research and my interview that it's not only a social event but religious as well, and this event emphasizes the importance of family, community, and cultural identity. This event actually has roots in Mayan and Aztec cultures. The message behind this event has pretty much remained almost the same, that it's a rite of passage for girls entering womanhood. Although there was an era where this tradition was used to symbolize readiness for marriage. But thankfully, over the years, the focus has shifted back to symbolizing a young woman stepping into more adult responsibilities and livelihood, which is where the tradition of wearing big dresses, makeup, fancy jewelry, and high heels were adopted from. On this next slide, I have a few of many symbolic traditions that are done at quinceañeras. One being changing of the shoes, which is used to represent the change from being a child to stepping into womanhood, which is why the birthday girl usually goes from wearing something like sneakers or flats to then being presented with heels by her father or a father figure and having those put on her feet. Another symbolic gesture, and one of my favorites, is the court of honor. The birthday girl is accompanied by a court, which consists of damas, which translates to young woman, and chambelanes, male escorts. And usually they participate in some type of ceremonial dance. After research, I found that this part of the event is used as a way to represent the community support of the birthday girl stepping into her new womanhood and growing up. Overall, this tradition is really important for identity and keeping the heritage alive. I think especially for Hispanic families that live in the United States. It's a really cool and fun way to maintain culture and traditions so that they can be passed down to the next generation and the generations after that. On this next slide, I have my interview questions and clips of my interviewees' answers. I decided to interview my friend's aunt, whose name is Lupe. She gave some really good and informative answers, so I'll just play a couple of my favorites. Here, I asked her, were there any traditions your family insisted on including, and why were they important to the family? And this was her answer.
There weren't any particular traditions that we wanted to include. Mostly what we celebrated was what was most common for people who throw quinceañeras. One important factor was definitely the church service that we are supposed to hold prior to the event. That's the general highlight for quinceañeras. There aren't any particular traditions that we insisted on including. It's just the general service and the venue with the main event held inside.
And then I also asked her, what's one song that must be played at every quinceañera? And this was her answer.
A song that has to be played at every quince would have to be this song called Tiempo de Vals. It's one of the more common songs that people would dance to as their main dance. Usually they do it with a group of people. It's been passed down for many years and it never gets old in my opinion. I think it's just a classic ballroom dancing song that many people would recognize if you were to play it in a room.
And on this slide here, I have pictures of her actual quinceañera day, where she's wearing a beautiful peachy gown, and you can see she also had a court of honor here, which is really cool. From interviewing Lupe, I learned that this celebration is more than just about making it another year around Earth. It has deeper meaning, like the importance of family, religion, community, growing up, and culture. Learning about quinceañeras also made me appreciate how close-knit Hispanic families are and how they support each other and celebrate each other's special moments. It made me want to appreciate my family even more, honestly. I was also really surprised to learn that before the big events and venue even starts, they start the day with a church service. And I just think that really emphasized how important and how much religion plays a part in this tradition. And lastly, I took the time to compare and contrast quinceañeras to American culture birthday parties. And honestly, there's some huge differences. One being, while I wholly agree that both kinds of parties, American culture and quinceañeras, need to be thoroughly planned, I think a quinceañera is such a huge event with so many moving pieces throughout the day, it takes a whole lot more of intricate and elaborate planning. Another difference would be quinceañeras involve religion in the celebration and have a deeper meaning to it, other than again just celebrating another year on earth. Quinceañeras focus on stepping into womanhood and preparing the young woman to take on new and different responsibilities than she had previously held in daily life, family dynamic, and even in her religion. While American culture parties like Sweet Sixteens just focus on the message of getting older and having fun. I also noticed that quinceañeras focus a lot on Hispanic culture, obviously, and personal identity, while American culture birthday parties again just focus on having a good time and partying with friends and family. And while quinceañeras have moments like that too, I just think it holds a deeper meaning, not to keep repeating myself. I'm just really intrigued by this entire event, and it was really cool learning about it through research and even firsthand by interviewing Lupe. Here are my sources, and thank you for listening.